Hello and welcome to Monday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where with no little trepidation I'm going to attempt a puzzle by Gliperal today. Gliperal is in that sort of coterie of setters whose puzzles tend to be exceptionally hard. This is called The Devil is in the Details, and you can see all the clues in the grid are 666. And the most unusual thing about this puzzle is that it's its age, actually. 31st of October 2020 was when this puzzle went live. And apparently it's had very, very few solves in the meantime. But it's been recommended to us a couple of times, including by Glum Hippo, who described it as something like a thing of absurd beauty, sort of Endymion-esque. Yeah, and I'm going to have a go at it. I'm starting this hopefully early enough in the day that if I do have problems with it, I should be able to find another puzzle and create a different video by 8:30, fingers crossed. And I will read you the rules, which are unusual, in a moment or two's time. Now, what else can I tell you about? Let me look at my list, because I mustn't miss anything today. I think the most important thing I've got to mention today is the bismuth video. So at 10 o'clock this morning, UK time, I released a really, what I think is, it's a video I really loved making with the YouTuber Bismuth, who many of you know already, and some of you don't and have found as a result of me talking about Bismuth. But Bismuth is a speedrunner of computer games, has an enormous YouTube channel, sort of going through, how people have managed to get through Super Mario in like 4 minutes or something, by being exceptionally good at jumping at the correct pixel on the screen. Anyway, Bismuth. Bismuth and I solved a puzzle together, and I hope that this will be the start of a series of collaborations with other YouTubers. So we have had confirmation from a few others, so in due course I hope to make videos with them as well. But if you know anyone who might like to get involved in that series, do let us know. But do check out the video. I will try and remember to put a link on the screen. Over on Patreon, we've only got 3 days left if you want to be in with a chance of winning this month's competition, which is the Paint by Numbers Institute Where's My Mama Sudoku hunt. You've still got time, actually. You could still get it all done by the 20th if you haven't started yet, but you will need to get a wriggle on. Do try and enter it. As I say, the closing date's just in a couple of days' time. What else do I need to mention? Let's talk about birthdays. There are 2 birthdays I want to talk about today. We'll start off with Donatello_86, who's turning 39 today. And I know this because your friend Melissa wrote to us. Melissa is apparently 10 months older than you, and you enjoy describing her as old. But for the next 2 months, you are the same age, and Melissa was very keen to point that out. And you introduced her, Donatello_86, to the channel, for which I am grateful. Thank you for doing that, and I hope you have a brilliant birthday today, with, of course, a large slice of chocolate cake. And the other birthday is Fiona. Fiona, you've turned 27. I know this because your boyfriend Sven wrote us a lovely email, actually, telling us that you find that the videos help you to fall asleep, and asking me to relay this message to you. He loves you very much, and hopes you have an amazing day today, as do I. So Fiona, hope you have a great birthday. And that is all the birthdays. I think that's all the news. Let us have a look at this thing of absurd beauty by the great and terrifying Gliperal. The devil is in the details. And these are the rules of the puzzle. We have got normal Sudoku rules apply, so we're going to have to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Cages indicate the sum of certain numbers within them in the top left corner. So those squares subject to what's coming sum to 666. So do those. And the diagonals presumably do as well. Let's read that. Arrows indicate the sum of certain numbers along their diagonal. Digits may repeat along a diagonal. Oh, but digits cannot repeat within a cage. The numbers involved in clues can be single-digit or straight multi-digit numbers, but each digit can only contribute to one such number. Vertical numbers are read top to bottom, and horizontal and diagonal numbers are read left to right. So I think what this means, and I have got an example that we can look at in a moment, is that we have to divide up all of these cages and diagonals such that, I mean, let's look at this one, 666. So we're looking at that diagonal there. Actually, let's use the line tool. Let's look at that diagonal. So, hang on, I'm trying to, there we go. Right, so we're looking at this diagonal. We're saying that the digits along it sum to 666. Well, clearly we can't be viewing these digits individually. So we have to construct bigger numbers. So for example, we could make that into a number, a 3-digit number. Now, diagonal numbers are read left to right. So it would be those, if this was a 3-digit number, those 3 digits would add up to, well, they wouldn't add up, they would just be a number. So if this was 456, that would be the number 456. That wouldn't work, because then those two numbers, which could be single-digit numbers or a duo, like with that being a tens digit and that being a units digit, would have to sum. So let's make this bigger, 567. Although we can repeat digits on diagonals, but let's make that 567. Then these would have to add up. See, that doesn't work because they'd have to be 99, and that would break Sudoku. But we could maybe make that 9, and then we might get there. 31, 97. Then we need. So does that work? I might have stumbled on the answer to the puzzle. If I have, it is serendipitous. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe that does work. But I think that's what we have to do. Now, there is an example here, which is a very complicated looking creature. So we've got a cage with 1, 2, 3, 4 in it. And it says, for example, the possible totals for this cage include, among other possibilities, 235. Yeah, okay, so I can see that. That's just those 3 numbers being read as a 3-digit number. So 234 plus that number, 235. Or 19, which is 13 plus 2 plus 4. Yeah, because vertical numbers have to be read straight down. So this can't be read as 31. It has to be read as 13. Now, or 55. How do we get that? 21 plus 34. Oh, I see. So 21 plus 34. Yeah, okay. I can see how that works. It says, but not 37, which is 31 plus 2 plus 4. Yes, okay. So we can't read that as 31. I understand that. 217, not 217. Oh, okay. So we can't make mountains. So, but I thought we could go diagonally. Let me just go back to the puzzle. Why can't we do that? Oh, straight multi-digit numbers. Okay, so we can't, that's not a straight line I've drawn there. It's 2 straight lines with a kink. Or 255. Oh, yeah, okay, yes, we're only allowed to, so we can't reuse the 2. If we use the 2 in 234, we can't use it again and say there's a 21 diagonal. I think I would have understood that, actually, without the example. But anyway, there is an example as well. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now, I get to play. Let's get cracking. And so 666, the last one of these I did with Gliperal was 2025, which is 45 squared, the secret squared. And that one was quite constrained because, of course, there is no 0 in Sudoku. So 2025, You had to be very careful with how big the thousands numbers were. But here, 666... I'm just trying to think, is there some Sudoku... I mean, there's constraint, I suppose, in the sense you can't have too many sixes in an answer. Yeah, I mean, you're going to have a whopping great... This diagonal is only 4 cells long, so it can't be split into two 2-cell numbers, because you won't get up to 666 if you add two 2-digit numbers. So there's going to be... Well, okay, there's going to be a 6, actually, in a hundreds position, isn't there, down along there? Because there's only... Given we need a hundreds number in order to get to 666, we can't have 598 or something, because we're only going to have a single digit to add to 598, and we won't get as high as 666. So on this diagonal, either this is a 600 number or that is a 600 number. And I think actually I can go further than that. Because if that's a 600, we're only adding a maximum of 9 to whatever number. Well, if that was the 3-cell number and we add 9 to it, the absolute minimum size of that is 657. So it's either double 6, which couldn't start here. It couldn't be 6. It couldn't be 6 6 like that, could it? If this is a 6, that has to be a 5. But if this is a 6, this could be a 6. And then so we'd be on 660 in effect, and these 2 units digits would have to add up to 6. Okay, all right. So all we really know is that one of these is a 6, I think. Yeah, okay, but that's interesting, isn't it? Because given that one of these has to be a 600 digit, the same is going to be true of this clue down here. That's sort of exactly the same in terms of symmetry. And that's interesting, because given there's a 6 in one of those 2 squares, and given there's a 6 in one of these 2 squares, that's a sort of, I mean, is it a weird X-wingy type thing? I don't know what the technical term for that is, but I can see if that's a 6, that's a 6. And if that's a 6, that's a 6. So there's a sort of skewed X-wing, which means we can't put 6 into actually you can't put 6 into any of those. Well, what that means is one of those is a 6. So this 666 can't have a 600 number in it. So does that have to have a 500 number in it? Yeah, I think so. Doesn't one of those have to be a 5 now? Am I going bonkers, or is that not true? If this, we can't... It must have a hundreds number in it somewhere. And that 100's number, its hundredths digit, is going to be there, or there. And that now can't be a 6. But it could be a 5. It couldn't be a 4. Because say that number was 498. We're only adding a 2-digit number to that. We're not going to get to 666. So, one of those squares is a 5. And then we're going to be adding to whatever this number is, or this number, or this number, some number to get to 666. I don't really know how to do that. Is it to do with... hang on a minute, let me think about this. It might be to do with these others. We've got other diagonals here as well, haven't we? The ones that we did the example with. There's another 2 diagonals. and that they are also going to have exactly 1/100ths number in them. But that could be a 500 number. It doesn't have to be a 600 number. And it could easily be a 600 number, because this pattern doesn't limit. Well, if there were, you couldn't put the 6 in those two squares, but you could put the 6 there. So if that was a 600 number, that would just mean that this wasn't a 6. So this would be a 6. And that would be a 6. We get a lot of 6s, so there'd be 6s in those three positions, or the symmetrical upside down variation of that. Oh, bother. Okay, so... Okay, so does it make any difference that we know if that's 600? That's... Then those two units digits... Hang on, if that's 600... Yeah, the units digits are a bit interesting, actually. Because say those two digits are units digits along this diagonal. In other words, this is a 3-digit number. And then we're adding those two digits, therefore this would be a solitary number. It's not joining to any other number. Then either those two digits add up to 6. They don't add up to 6. Here's something. Right. Hang on. Yeah, I've missed something here. Right. One thing I was thinking about before was that this diagonal, let's say it starts here. Sorry, this is a bit unclear, but let's say that's a number and that's a single digit total. Now, one thing I've been thinking about is this was 660 something, in which case these two units digits add up to 6. That's not possible anymore, because remember, we need a 6 down here. In other words, I can't do double 6 here, because then neither of these could be 6, and this 666 at the bottom wouldn't work. The 6's are disposed either like that or like that. So, right, so if this was 6, this can't be 6 then. It's got to be 5, because we're only adding a single digit number to something to get to 666. So that means we've got 650 plus 2 digits that add up to 16. Oh, double 8. Oh, you rotten thing. I was about to say they have to be 7 and 9. But they could be double 8, couldn't they? And all, well... Yeah, it's still really constrained. Yeah, it's really constrained. Okay, so now what we're going to say is that those two squares are a 6-5 pair. Because if this was the 6, we know one of these is a 6, part of a 600 number. The second digit we've now worked out has to be 650 something rather than 660 something. So this is a 6-5 pair. That means that is not a 5. And then either these two or those two add up to 16, which is going to be either double 8 or a 7-9 pair. Oh, I see. I've got a digit here. I've got a digit. That's a 5. Right. Okay. So what we need to do, the best way to explain this actually is going to be to let's imagine that this is the way this works, and there's a 6 here. You can see that's going to be a 3-digit number. But what I want to think about is what this is now, because now we know this is the 6. So that is part of a 3-digit number, to which we are adding a single digit in order to get to 666. So here is my question. If we are in this world, what is this digit? This is a 6. So this number is a tens digit to which we are adding 2 units digits to get to 666. That has to be a 5. It can't be another 6 because that's a 6. It can't be a 4 because 640 plus 2 single-digit numbers cannot get the 26 that we need. So that is a 5. Now, of course, the other way up it goes is that this would, we're just shifting that 3-digit number to there, and this would be the total, or this would be the single units digit. So what I'm saying is that there is a 5 definitely, which is a tens digit in one of those two squares, which means that this cannot be a 5. It sees a 5 in one of those two squares, and that is now a 5. And there is a 3-digit number in this 666 cage, which goes like that. To which we must add a 2-digit number. Because again, well, that's obvious. I mean, if this is 598, we can't add 2 single digits to that. So those 2 digits, well, these 2 digits either add up to 6, which would have to be a 2-4 pair because it couldn't be a 1-5 pair and it couldn't be double 3, or 16, which couldn't be double 8, so it would be 7-9. And then these two either add up to, if these add up to 6, these add up to then those add up to 16, don't they? Because we need to create 160 in effect. So this would be a 7-9 pair. So if this is a 2-4 pair, this is a 7-9 pair. And if this is a 7-9 pair, then that's 16, so we need 15 here. Which doesn't work. Oh, that's beautiful. Good grief. Right. If that's a 7-9 pair, that's contributing 16 to our 666 total. This has contributed 500. So we're on 516, and we need another 150 from these tens digits. So these add up to 15. Well, how do we do that if we can't use 7, 8, and we can't use 6, 9? There is no way to do it. So these add up to a bare 6, and these add up to the 16, so they are 7, 9. And that is, so these squares are now 1, 3, 6, 8 in the row. I make no apologies for pencil marking that. This is one of those puzzles where I think that we're going to need every scintilla of information that we can sort of detect. Okay, now what I've got to do is get rid of these lines and this, because we don't know which way up this all goes. But, do we know if that's 2, 4? Can't make, oh no, they're not going to be, no, sorry, I was thinking that I could do, I might get some restriction, because they're one of these versions, those two are units digits, aren't they? But in the other version they're not. So if those 3 are a 3-digit number, yeah, the 2 units digits go there. So we've either got 650 here, 6, 5, and these add up to 16. Right, okay, so perhaps I need to be a bit more diligent on this diagonal. Because, yeah, I don't think there is an absolutely enormous plethora of opportunities for any of these digits, actually. I haven't pencil marked them all, but I think I probably ought to, because I think that digit, for example, is oh no. Hang on. No, I am right. Okay. Here is the thing that I hadn't appreciated, or I think I had appreciated it, but I hadn't used it fully. Whichever one of these 2 digits is the hundreds digit, it's always accompanied in the tens position by the number 5. That is the crucial thing we have to remember. So we've always got within these diagonals, these two diagonals, the number 650, which means that the 2 units digits, wherever they are, add to 16. So we don't have 2 units digits adding to 6, we have 16. Now that means there's 2 possibilities. Either these are the 2 units digits and they add up to 16, in which case they are from 789, they could be 88. Or, but this could be 5 in the version where this is 650, and then those 2 digits have to add up to 16, which makes this 789, but this could also be 6 in the variant where this is 650, and those 2 are adding up to 16. So this diagonal is full of pretty high digits, basically. And that, obviously, all that logic just transposes down here. So this is 5, 7, 8, 9. This is 7, 8, 9. 7, 8, 9 triple in that column now. That... no. I thought that was going. I thought that might mean that there had to be an 8 in one of those, but it doesn't. Because I know one of these is an 8, because that's not 8. So one of these is an 8, and it's part of a double 8 pair adding to 16. But that could be like that or like that. It doesn't have to be like that or like that, does it? We don't know. Anyway, this one is 6, 7, 8, 9 as well. Okay. And we've still not used the longer 666 diagonals, or I haven't really even thought about the cages. These ones, I mean, let's think about that for a moment. I was just going to just draw in a total diagonal. Okay, so we're just going to think about it this way round. I think it's all very symmetrical at the moment. There's been nothing that's breaking the symmetry. So probably the symmetry is going to be broken by the cages, isn't it? I'm just thinking if we were to draw a line through the middle of row 5 and reflect the grid upside down, it would look exactly the same. We've got the same pencil marks in all positions. So something's got to break it, and it's not going to be these diagonal clues. So it's got to be some implication from a cage. Okay, so if this is the hundreds digit, okay, here's a tiny point. This can't be the hundreds digit, because if it ran that way with these 3 numbers being a hundreds total, then obviously this has to be a 6, because we're only adding 2 units digits to a number. So this is going to have to be a 6, which it can't be. There's a 6 in one of those, there's a 6 in one of these. So we're either looking at a situation where I've got it. I've got it. By Jove, he's got it. I think. Okay, here's my logic. I was going to say, I think this is right. I was going to say, okay, so the hundreds digit on this diagonal is either a digit there, or, so this is the hundreds digit, or it's here. So that's the hundreds digit. If this was the hundreds digit, I was looking at this just a moment ago when I was thinking about the cages. I was thinking, where's the hundreds digit in that cage? Because there must be one. I say that glibly. No, there must be one. There's no possible way you can add 2-digit numbers, enough 2-digit numbers to get to 666 from this cage. So there is a hundreds digit in it. It can't be here, because if that's part of a cage or part of a number, it's either that number. Can it be part of that number, or is that okay? I can't even remember. Diagonal numbers are read left to right. Yeah, so maybe it can. But it can only be part of a 2-digit number. So that means that the hundreds digit in this cage, and there's only one, is there, there, or there. And the hundreds digit, well, I was assuming it was going to be a 5 or a 6, but can it be a 4? No, I don't think it can. I didn't think of that, but I don't think it can. Because if it was a 4, it's worth 400, so I need 266, which is going to require actually 3 2-digit numbers, isn't it? Which I definitely can't make. I can't even make 2, I don't think. Right, so what I'm now going to claim is actually within those 3 squares is a hundreds digit that is a 5 or a 6. And that means that this digit cannot be 5 or 6, because it sees both within the panoply or the ambit of those 3 squares. So this would be a maximum of 400 total, and that's not enough to add a 2-digit number 2 to get to 666. So this is a hundreds digit, and this diagonal looks like that. And now, so that's now a unit. So these are the 2 units digits. So they either add up to 6 or 16. Oh, no, that's okay, I think. And these are they are, oh, both of those are high. That might break the symmetry, actually. That might be the thing that breaks it, right. Because now, look at I want to focus on those 2 digits. Now, if these add up to 6, these have to add up to 160, or 16 in other words. So they would be from 7s, 8s and 9s. But, what if these add up to 16? Well, then those have to add up to 150, which is still 15. So this digit is still whoppingly high. Those 2 digits are whoppingly high. They are at least 6. And that one can't be 6, actually, because it sees 6 in that column. So, what I was thinking is, this digit now, there's too many high digits. This is a low digit. These are all low. Because those are a sort of 6, 7, 8, 9 quadruple in box 4. So if this was, wow, yeah, I don't think this is going to work, is it? I'm going to totally change tack. I'm going to look down here at this 666, and let's just think about this. Again, along this diagonal, there has to be a hundreds total. Where is it? It's not here now, because that number's not big enough. Same reason we had up there. I don't think it's there now. The maximum that could be would be 549, which means these 2 squares have to add up to more than 100 to get us up to 666. That's just not right, is it? So the only place we can do is that. That is a hundreds number. Which is possibly interesting. Oh, I've got it. Oh, no, this is very important. Right. Remember what we said? One of those is a 5. Well, that can't be a 500 number. It certainly can't be a 400 number. We're only adding a 2-digit number to it. So that must be a 6. And I've got another digit. That means that's a 5. And that's a 6. And therefore that's a 6. Because this must be a 650 number. We're away here. We are away all of a sudden. That is a thing. That is a thing. That's an individual. That's an individual. This thing is a blue 2-digit number. Doesn't that have to be 650? We worked that out because we know that both of these 4-cell diagonals have a 650 number. We now know where they are. So these two digits add up to, oh, we can see that's not a 6 already. I was going to say this can't be a 6 because these two digits have to add up to 16. These two digits have to add up to 16. So obviously that's not a 5. Oh, bobbins, come on. I must do something. There is an 8 in one of those. But no, I can't. I'm not sure what that means. There is now, okay, there's now a 5 in here, isn't there? Because we know that there had to be either a 600 or a 500 number horizontally in this cage. So these digits add up to 16. Those digits either add up to 15 or 16, depending on whether these add up to 6 or 16. And oh, here's something interesting. That's a 6 now. Yeah, oh, this is mad. I've got something else. Right, look at column 4. We've got our old 7, 8, 9 triple here. Well, that means that square by Sudoku, of all things, is a 6. I mean, Gliperal, what are you doing making me do Sudoku this early on in your puzzle? But now, I think we worked out they either added up to sort of 160 if these were adding up to 6, or 150 if these were adding up to 16. Well, now with that being a 6, that must be a 9, because we can't get to 16 anymore. This is now a 7. That's a 9. This is now an 8. Right, and that has to be, those had to add up to 16, didn't they? So that's double 8. This is a 7 at the bottom of this column. So that's a 9. These two are the units digits in this combination. And what's more, these two digits now add up to 16. They can't be double 8 because there's an 8 here. So these are a 7, 9 pair, and there's a 9 here. So that's a 7. That's a 9. There's a 9 in one of those two squares by Sudoku. This is a fabulous puzzle. It's just very entertaining. And so far, I mean, it's been quite, how long have I had? It hasn't been that long. I've got digits in a Gliperal in under 40 minutes. I'm very happy with that. Now, 8 by Sudoku. I'm going to do 8 by Sudoku again. No, no. Oh dear. Okay, I got carried away in my brain there, thinking I was going to be able to do a lot of Sudoku, and it certainly has not. 7 is in one of those two squares. 9 is in one of those two squares. And oh, and now I am stuck. Bobbins, bobbins, bobbins. 6 is in one of those squares in the middle box. And well, what do we do? What do we do with this? Do I know which one of those is the 500 number? I doubt I do. That one might be difficult, because that's only going to have, oh, that cut, yeah, this cut. Oh no, I can do diagonal numbers, sorry. Oh, that's very, I'm very unkind. Look, I was thinking that if I did that number, I was going to be adding 3 single-digit totals to that, and that's not true, is it? Because that little thing can be a diagonal number. Although, okay, well, I can rule that out, but not for the reasons I first thought. That doesn't work. And the reason that doesn't work is, let me just show you. If I put 5 here, now what we now know is that these 2 digits here are the only tens digits that we've possibly got in the puzzle, or within the confines of this cage. That's going to be a single digit total, that's a units digit, and that's a units digit. So these, I mean, they could be big numbers, sure, but they can't add a dramatic amount. The tens numbers are what it's all about. And these tens numbers, C5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, so the maximum they could be would be a 3-4 pair, which is giving us 570, which means the units digits would have to account for another 96, and that is not possible. So actually, what that means is that that is not the 5 we're looking for. The 5 is there or there. So can I just pull that trick again? If that's... No, because that digit is not under the same pressure. If that's 5, that digit becomes worth a maximum of 4. No, I must... Okay, hang on. What's the way to think? The way to think about this is I'm on 500. Whichever one of these is 5, I'm on 500. And whichever one of these is 5, I've got one more. I can only get one more tens digit into the puzzle. So I need the tens digit of the 500 number plus the other tens digit that I've got at my disposal to add up to a great deal of the 160 or 166 extra that I need. Yeah, so if this was 5, given by Sudoku this is now a maximum of 4, I'm on 540 here. And even if that was a 9, even if this was 98, I don't get anywhere near 540. So I'm on 638. I've got 2 digits left that have to sum up to a massive amount, like way over 20. Yeah, it's not possible. It's only just not possible, but it really isn't possible. So that is not 5. This is 5. Okay, so that gives me another number. That's a number. And now this number's under less pressure. Although it was under less pressure in that last version. And we need a great big tens number. Yeah, okay, so I'm now going to claim there might have to be a vertical number in this cage. Because if the tens digit within this panoply, I think if this is the tens digit, it's either that way or that way, isn't it? But either way, the maximum size of this digit is 4. And we've just shown that's impossible. Is even if we add 9, we've got too much work to do with the units digits at our disposal. So I think the only way to do it is to make that the tens digit. Now, can that go... If we do diagonally... Yeah, this diagonal numbers are read left to right. So I think I have to go straight down to make that work. So that becomes this is a units digit. But this digit now does have the opportunity to be 7, which I think it's going to have to be. It can't be 4. We've already thought about why that doesn't work. So that is 7. 7 is in one of those 2 cells. And this digit probably has to be whopping. It's not 5, 6 or 7. We know it can't be 4, so it is 8 or 9. And we're either looking at 500 and 600, well, If this was 8, we're on 650, aren't we then? Before we add those digits together, which would have to add to 16, okay. And if that's 9, if that's 9, these have to add up to 6, and they would be a 1, 2, 3 triple, because there are 3 of them. Yeah, actually, look, we've got only low digits left here to populate box 2 with. So these are very low. So if these do have to add up to 16, oh, bobbins, you can only just do it. That has to be a 3-4 pair, and that has to be a 9. Ah, all right. That's interesting. That means that either this itself is a 9, or in the version of the world where this is an 8, these 3 digits add up to 16, and that has to be a 9 then. So there is a 9 in one of those 2 squares. That means that that's not a 9. That means that is a 9. And that doesn't do anything. Ow! You rotten puzzle. This digit is either 9 or it's from 1, 2, 3. Because if this is 9, these add up to 6, and they are a 1, 2, 3 triple. Okay, and have we... Ah, no, I haven't. Right, I was thinking, have I used all my 666 diagonals? I certainly haven't looked at this one at all. I've got a 600 number here, 650. Oh, goodness, I thought I'd broken it then. No, that's fine. This is a 1. And this is a 1 because what else could it be? I'm on 650 because that's a 2-digit number with a 5 at the start. So I'm on 650. If this was anything other than 1, I would break my 666 total. So that's a 1. These 2 squares add up to 6. So that's 2, 3, 4, or 5. That isn't a 1. No, that doesn't. I was wondering if that helped me there, but I don't think it does. So these 2 digits have a relationship together. I'm going to try and record that, actually. I'm just going to do a little ring around them so that I try and remember that they have a relationship. Why has that one got oh, that's only got a circle because... Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. If I put a circle, it means it's a units digit that I have to think about. So, oh no, I know what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to look at these other cages, which I've given no thought to at all. Oh, I thought I had something there. Where's 5 in box 8? I thought I got it down to 1 position. It can be in 2, unfortunately. 5 is in one of those 2. 7. The problem with this cage is that it could have 2 hundreds digits in it. If it has, it must have 1 hundreds digit in it at least. Okay, that's not a 9, I'm going to claim. Oh, that might be wrong. No, that is wrong. Yeah, no, this is fine. Right. Okay, here is the question. Is there only 1 hundreds digit in this squat little cage here? I think the answer to that is no, because if there's only 1 hundreds digit, it would have to be a 600 number or a 500 number, but that cannot be a 6 or a 5. I was looking at my pencil marks in box 5, and this can't be a 6 or a 5 by Sudoku. So any hundreds digits that are appearing in this 666 cage, the first digit is going to be a 400 at most, which means there needs to be another hundreds digit. So actually this cage we can do that in. And these 2 digits add up to at most 6, because they must be they must add up to 500 or 600, mustn't they? Yeah, they could add up to 500. They could add up to 500. But this can't be a 9. So that is 9. So 9. Oh, 9's in one of those. I don't know if there's a reason that it has to be or can't be in this cage yet. In fact, it's more difficult, isn't it, if they add up to 6. Neither of these can be a 5. Sorry, I was in my brain. I'd gone. Yeah, these could add up to 6, and that's true. So I put in all the options. In fact, oh no, they could be double. They could have 3 in them, but they can't be double 3 to make 6. Yeah, okay. If they do add up to 6, they have to be 2, 4 now, because 5 can't go in either of those squares by Sudoku. So these would add up to 600. If this was a 2, let me just think about this. If this was a 2, 4 pair, we're on 600, which means these digits have to add up to very small numbers. That feels impossible to me. I feel like I'm going to need far too many low digits. Because what are those digits going to be then? Neither of those can be 5. They certainly can't be 6, because the other digit would have to be a 0, because we'd already be on 60 whichever one of these was 6. So these have to be 1 and 3, adding up to 40. And now I've used all my low digits, and it doesn't matter how big I make these have to add up to 26. I don't think that works. I'm not sure. I'm going to think it through again. I think I better think it out again. We're reviewing the situation. It's wrong to be a rogue in every way. So, job I'm getting, possibly. I wonder who my boss will be. I wonder. Take to me what. Oh, I can't do it. Right, think. Don't get distracted. Think. If they add up to 6, they can't be double 3. They can't be 1, 5. They are 2, 4. That gives me 600. That means these squares cannot include. By Sudoku, they can't include 5s. They can't include 6 because you can't put 6, 0. They'd have to be 1, 3 because they can't be 2 and 4. It's right, isn't it? That's only giving me 40. These have to be too big. Right. So let's go back to pencil marking these, which was... Well, now it's better. Now it's better than it was, because now I'm saying these actually add up to 5. Is it better than it was, though? I don't know. It probably is, but I have to think about it now. If these add up to 5, is there something I'm meant to be appreciating about that? So that means I'm on 500 as a result of the hundreds digits. I need 166 from these squares. So again, these are adding up to either 16, in which case this has to give me... So these are 6, 7, 8, 9 again, aren't they? They might have to add up to 160, in which case they are going to be... Oh, they can't be double 8. Yeah, but they might be 8 and 7. In fact, that's not 9, is it? So that might be interesting. Can I get rid of anything? I can get rid of 6. Why can I get rid of 6? Ah, by Sudoku. I was looking at my corner pencil mark 6s. I was thinking, how did I manage that? But, that's not 6 either. This must be important. These have to be different. So these are either adding up to, well, hang on, aren't we in the same world that we were before, where if these add up to 16 now, we know they can't be double 8 because they're in the same cage, so they'd have to be a 7-9 pair, and that would break the ability of that to add up to 15. So these don't add up to 16, they add up to 6, and they don't include 9. So these are either 2, 4 or 1, 5. They can't be double 3. But now that can't be a 5. Can that be a 5, really? I don't know. But it's fine. It's fine. Because now these add up to 6, these add up to 16, and they can't be double 8. So that definitely is 7. That's definitely 9. So that's not 9. This is now 9. So that's 8. I can't remember what that did up here. But oh, no, I can. I can, because the units digits here, that means they add up to 16. So this is a 3-4 pair. That feels like it's going to do something. So this is now a 1-2 pair. That's not a 1. That's not a 2. That's part of the thingy thing. The technical term for these two squares having to add up to 5. So now this is a 1 or a 2. Which, I don't think it does anything. Maybe it does, but in a way I can't appreciate. Oh, I've got it. I've got it. It's nothing to do with that. Beautiful. Oh, this is so clever, this puzzle. Right. If that's a 1-4 pair, how do I make those add up to 6? 1-5 would be ruled out. 2-4 would be ruled out. This is a 2-3 pair, which is that way round. This is not got 2 and 4 in it now. So this is 1-5, which is apparently that way round. That's not 1. That's a 4, now by Sudoku. So that's a 2, that's a 3, that's a 4. 2, 3, 4. That's a 5. Now I want to say those had to add up to 6. That feels like it must be right. 615 plus 51 is 666. Okay, so these squares are now a 3-4 pair. Oh, come on. Come on now. We're in better shape than we were. That's not 5. That's not 8. Oh dear. Oh, we got on a flurry of activity. Well, okay, this column needs a 1 in it. I can do that. That's quite useful. Look at that. Loads of things. That's a 2 now. Oh my goodness. Right, 2's in one of those. These squares, possibility of a 3 in the corner, you know, that's a 3-4 pair. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 over here. 2, 3, 4 here. That's not 5 by dint of this. Okay, let's try this. No, 2, 3, 4 in that column. That doesn't look as good as I hoped. 3 and 5 are now a pair in this box. So presumably the others. So that's not 3 anymore. So these are 7. 7. Oh, 7 is not there. So what are... Hang on, let's just think about this. What are these digits? They are 1. Oh, well, where's 8? I've got an 8 here now. Oh, I hope that hasn't been available for ages. 1 has to be there. That has to be 6 by Sudoku. And this column hasn't had a 4, so that's a 4. That's not a 4 now. This box needs 2, 6, and 8. So that's the 2. That's the 6. That's the 8. Oh, it's beautiful. 4, 7 in the row. Not quite resolved. 5 here is nice. So that's 5, that's 3, that's 3, that's 4. The end of this row needs 8 and 9. We can do it. So 8 is not in this panoply. This is 1 has to go there by Sudoku. This is a 3, 6 pair. These digits are 2, 4, and 7. The Sudoku still seems to be working, which is something. Isn't it amazing? This puzzle is sort of, it's over 4 years old and it's absolutely sensational. I didn't know about it until about 2 days ago. Oh, it's probably going to be this cage, isn't it? I mean, that cage must be here for a reason. I've not given it a moment's thought yet. Ah. Okay, I know what those digits are. That's an 8-cell cage, and it definitely hasn't got a 9 in it. There's no possibility of it having a 9 in it. So it's got all the other digits in it, because you can't repeat digits in cages. So these digits are... Okay, so I think they're 3, 5, and 7. Because they're the digits that aren't these and aren't 9. And 5, it looks to me, has only one place there. I mean, that must do something. That's a 4 now, I suppose, so that's a 7. 1. Oh, there's a 1 in the corner by Sudoku. So that digit's... Ah, that's big if that's true. Oh, it's not going to give me a 3 in the corner, though. Hang on, let me just think about this. I think this is a 2, 3, 4 triple, and the 4 is going to be very important. So I think we just fill this in. Let's hope this continues. So 2, 3, and 4. Yeah, that's a 2 by Sudoku. 4, 3. Let's tidy up some pencil marking. Yeah, we can keep going. 3, 6. This is 5, 7. We can do that. 5, 7, 7, 2, 2, 4. And down here we need 6 and 8. It looks good. That looks good. Ah, but I've not even looked at this cage. So there's got to be a way of making 666. So 647 I can see. There was 647. I need 19 more. Yeah, I could. Okay, I could do it. I think that's going to be it. I'm just going to think about this for a second and check that there's no other way of doing this. 475. That would need nearly 200 extra. You can't get 200 extra. I could get 86 plus 21 or something, but that's not nowhere near. Yeah. So I think what we're doing here is we're going those for 647. We're 19 short of our total. But if I just take those digits individually, I think they add up to 19, and that gets me where I need to be. So I think that might be right. That is just a sensationally good puzzle. It's absolutely brilliant, Gliperal. Really brilliant. Is it correct? Let's go and have a look. Yes. Oh, okay. That's not many soul. Oh, well, okay. Okay, this is not... Yeah, this is saying somebody's made this 41 days ago. So, okay, so what's happened is, for some reason, this has got attention in the last month or so, having had no attention for years. Somebody's made it. And, yeah, so it's had hardly any solves. One of our testers and me and whoever else has done it in the last month or so. And now, hopefully, it will get a lot more attention, because it certainly deserves it. It's a beautiful puzzle, isn't it? It's just beautiful. How you can do that. I mean, it's all about this start, these 666s pointing at that 666 cage. But actually, it's quite lovely the way the disambiguation happens as well. Ah, it's quality. That's a quality puzzle. Let me know in the comments how you got on with it. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.